A 5-digit Rolex Day-Date in white gold should probably run you anywhere between 17 to about 25,000 euros, depending on year and condition, of course. So why does this one cost nearly double that? Well, in the words of 21st century poet Sean Carter, he balled so hard he's got a broke clock, Rollies that don't tick-tock, and an Audemars that's losing time hidden behind these big rocks. Now, while he should probably send his AP to our service center, it does also seem that Jay-Z forgot about the Oysterquartz. 1977 was a really interesting time for Rolex. They were seeing the rise of quartz. They had already joined the coalition of Swiss watchmakers to make their own Swiss quartz watch, and that spawned the Beta 21 caliber. However, after a time, Rolex decided they wanted their independence. So 5 years after the debut of that collaborative caliber, they worked on developing their own, and they needed a watch to showcase it in. And that's why in 1977, they combined the rise of quartz with the rise of integrated luxury sports watches brought about by Audemars Piguet and Patek Philippe to birth the Oysterquartz. Now, this is generally what we think of when we consider an Oysterquartz. A Datejust with an integrated bracelet, in this case it's a two-tone one, and of course that ticking along the dial. But they also introduced a version of this in their most luxurious model, the Day-Date, a watch that has always been emblematic of status and luxury. But from the 1970s up until the early 2000s, Rolex actually had a quartz version of its premier flagship model, the Day-Date. This one here is in full white gold, and you can already see just how different it is to your regular Day-Date. It still has the same presence, it still has that iconic dial, but the bracelet really makes a huge difference. You see these tiny little links that are almost a hybrid of what you would find as maybe an AP bracelet and the classic Rolex President design. They're not fully flat, they're not fully round, they're nice and short, extremely flexible and comfortable. You still have Rolex's iconic crown clasp, so you still know you're getting that Day-Date feeling, but just one glance at it and you know you're getting something special. On the dial, the layout is very much familiar. You see the full day of the week at the 12 o'clock. Of course, in different markets you can get these in different languages, and then you have the date at 3 o'clock. But what really makes this stand out more than anything is the fact that it just fits differently because of that integration. It has so much more in common with a Royal Oak from the same time period instead of any of the other Rolex models. So to answer the question from the beginning as to why this costs more, well, yes, you can look at the diamond indices, you can look at the fact that the bracelet is a little bit distinctive, but really what is the most important and the reason as to why Rolex decided to create an entire new model line is that quartz movement on the inside. While many people in the watch industry will classify quartz as being maybe something that's associated with much more affordable watches or downright cheap watches, Rolex managed to show that you could actually include quartz and its benefits, specifically its accuracy, in something that was just as luxurious. In the same way that Audemars Piguet redefined the industry by showing that things could be luxurious in steel, Rolex showed us that they could still be luxurious using quartz. Tons of luxury brands employ quartz because it's reliable and of course because it is very, very accurate. Much more accurate than any mechanical watch. But the reason why you get this, let's face it, isn't the accuracy. It's the fact that it encapsulates a period of time in Rolex's history where they were willing to explore, experiment, do something different, and most importantly, this is something that is unlikely to ever repeat itself. So this is really a time capsule of a period when Rolex was feeling things out, when they weren't the powerhouse that knows what they're doing at every step of the way, and in many ways you could say they actually landed it perfectly. But let us know in the comments below, what do you think of the Rolex Oysterquartz? Would you ever get one of these over a regular Rolex Day-Date? Or would you even want to go for something like the Oysterquartz Datejust, which is actually much more affordable than a regular Datejust? We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, if you like this video, then make sure you like it and share it. If you want to see more videos about watches, then subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell as well so you know when the next video comes out. If you want to see more Rolex content, we have an entire Rolex playlist for you to enjoy. But thanks for joining us on this quick exploration of one of the quirkiest watches that Rolex has ever introduced, and we'll catch you on the next video.